Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, August 5th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. 9 p.m. tonight, Reverse Aging Health Call. Freedom means the opportunity to be what we never thought we would be. Daniel J. Bourson. Big word, relax. Take this moment of your precious life to relax your body right now. Breathe deeply into your heart. Let everything be okay as it is. Be fully relaxed and at ease in this moment. Notice how different you feel. The instant you relax, your heart opens, and the mind automatically stops grasping to overcome its problems. By relaxing, you learn that you can surrender to life and actually become the solution you were seeking. Every problem in our lives are instantly solved through this divine, all-loving, expansive heart energy within all of us. It is always available and found through relaxation and surrender. By learning to relax, we learn how to trust life. This practice of a deeper relaxation is how this divine solution will constantly manifest into our lives. It's good to know that at the very core of our hearts, there is always a current of peace and an abundant river of bliss. If you aren't feeling this now, it doesn't mean that it is not there. It just means that you haven't yet opened your heart fully to this moment and tamed the wild, chattering, relentless mind completely. The mind, with its ego-driven tendencies, does not want to ride this gentle river of heart-centered bliss. If the ego fell into the river of bliss, it would die. The ego knows this and feels afraid to totally let go, trust, and completely dissolve and merge with bliss. Yes, it most certainly will die. Yet, with every death is also a wondrous rebirth. When the mind thinks too much, the ego believes that it's in charge of everything. The ego gets stirred up and thinks it's in control of the universe, no matter what happens or doesn't happen in this life. It starts demanding for things to be different than they are. Forgets to ask with kindness for what it wants, and becomes impatient, aggressive, and insensitive. These qualities are how you know that the ego is in the driver's seat, running the show and pretending that it is in charge. The ego does not want to realize that we are all divine beings that are connected to an infinite source of wisdom, vast cosmic intelligence, and universal love. The ego's job is to create the illusion of separation so we can have the experience of unification with Source. The truth is that our divine infinite nature is permanent and already here inside us now. This divinity is always here, always now, and always available, no matter what the ego believes or experiences. Once we choose to be the masters of our minds, the ego becomes our faithful servant. And we soon discover this natural river of bliss inside our hearts. The silence of the mind allows us to discover this sacred stream within. Only with an infinite amount of patience will the mind stop its controlling, repetitious, chaotic patterns. Only with infinite presence will the mind come to a complete stop. Infinite presence will the mind come to a complete stop. And you'll become 100% absorbed in the divine source. The opportunity to experience this is found within every moment. The silence between your every breath contains the doorway, and your heart is the key. Choose to begin the process of mastering your mind by redirecting your focus repetitively towards your heart. The more often you place your attention there, the more love, awareness, and energy flows to and from there. Eventually, this awesome chakra center will open, and you'll experience your true spiritual connection to this infinite river of bliss. This simple practice will bring your life much greater joy, wisdom, and clarity than any major accomplishment you could have in the physical world. Tame your mind. Tame your mind. Take 10 minutes every morning to do this flowering heart visualization. Focus on the essence of your heart. Just focus on the essence of your heart. Feel the energy your heart has. Let it be exactly the way it is. Thank your heart for giving you life. Now imagine that your heart has become a beautiful flower. Imagine that its soft, gentle petals are opening to the warm rays of the sun. Receive the warm, healing light rays of the sunshine in your heart. Let the light come pouring in, radiate through your heart, and spread into every cell through your body. Let this divine light energy radiate all around your body, filling the room, the town, the city, wherever you're at, the country, and penetrating every person in this world. Continue to let this energy flow until you feel completely at peace and at home inside yourself. Randomly throughout your day, become this flower. Let the sensations you practiced feeling inside your heart expand throughout your body. Watch closely and notice the difference that occurs when your whole body becomes soft, receptive, and flower-like. Rest completely in the true essence of your heart as frequently and as often as you can. If you're able to do this randomly, at least 15 minutes a day for the next week, you'll see a tremendous change occurring. Soon your mind will quiet, and you will naturally notice the body sensations of peace everywhere you go. Know that by embodying your heart chakra, you are bringing your life into a deep and divine connection with everyone and everything. It's a choice. We choose, or we choose to, or we choose to not. The miracle is that as you awaken, so too does the whole universe. Fear not. This world, the universe, everything, has a natural order and perfection within it. And this is divinely orchestrated. This is a divinely orchestrated universe. It is easy to see, feel, and experience when you simply focus your attention in its direction. As you may know, what we put our energy on, what we put our energy on, grows stronger. The more we take time to look for the beauty and the perfection around us, the more we will see, feel, and experience the awesome divine energy that is within all beings and things on this planet. It is only our minds that stop us from perceiving the divine in every experienced person and thing. The mind tends to complain about things that it perceives as bad or wrong because these things are not in alignment with its plans and expectations. The mind would like everything to go according to its agenda and can think it is the supreme ruler of its universe. And truly, it has no idea how our whole life, all of our lives, are going to look once it is finished. Truly, while the mind may grumble and get upset about certain experiences, we can always step back from the mind and see the gift in every perceived negative event. Wherever there is an open mind, there's the possibility of seeing the positive within everything. By looking at any event with humility and a long, deep, quiet curiosity, the perception pendulum inside the mind will swing from negative to positive. With enough childlike innocence and courageous introspection, we will start to understand that everything happens for a bigger purpose. This reason is not always evident at first. Yet each event is always created by an all-loving, intelligent universe that is helping you to live your life's mission all the time. We came here, different directions, different locations, wherever. Our gods came here to help others. If life were a big, beautiful puzzle, the mind would only be able to perceive one piece of that puzzle and not the entire assembled masterpiece. The conscious mind isn't big enough to understand how all of the pieces of this deeply complex universal puzzle of life all fit synchronistically together. Only when the mind drops can we catch a glimpse of the bigger picture. Only when it is one with the universe will it truly understand and see this perfection everywhere, all the time. The universal grand design is already perfectly in place. All the pieces of this mysterious puzzle are exactly right, even if the mind judges them not to be. The perceived imperfections that we see are actually our path to freedom. We see the purpose of the mind is to continuously grow, open, learn, and expand to the point that it realizes it is one with the universal mind. The mind creates these misperceptions. It creates them. It creates them out of thin air, just so it can one day know what perfection truly is and really appreciate it. We really don't know what love is until we've experienced a loss of love. Everything has its opposite to give us contrast so that we can have many different experiences to learn and grow from. The mind often gets in the way of us seeing and knowing that this perfection is all around us. It believes it is solely responsible for managing our entire world, and that if one little thing is not right, it throws a huge raging fit. It tends to think that it's the general manager of the universe. If your world does not seem perfect to the mind right now, take a giant step back from the mind through the breath. This will help you to experience a more universal perspective. Once you get even a tiny glimpse of this awesome, divine, holographic, conscious matrix, the mind will be humbled, relax a bit, and start to see more of the divinity in everything. Now, there's all kinds of things that we can do and apply and shift. You know, you can take the next week of your life to drop the critical, analytical, judgmental mind and notice the divine perfection within everything and everyone. Within everything and everyone. We invite you to spend your time looking for how perfect and utterly amazing this world is exactly as it is. When you wake up in the morning, start with noticing the perfection of the habit of your mind. What is it typically thinking about and attempting to create in your life? To be curious and accept whatever it's doing. Don't fight it. Just see that it is perfect. Then get out of bed. Take a look at yourself in the bathroom mirror. See the perfection of this divine soul in a physical body looking back at you. Then notice the perfection of the weather. Then notice the perfection of the weather. No matter what it is, whether it's super hot, freezing, or raining, proclaim, this too is perfect. Whatever you're doing, work, whatever. Notice how others are absolutely perfect just the way they are, especially if you don't like them. Notice how perfect this job is for you. Or if you're unemployed, notice how being free from work is exactly what you needed to manifest this new amazing career that is coming your way. Let your every experience be perfect and unfold exactly as it will. When eating a meal, notice the perfection of the food. While you are driving, focus on how perfect it is for someone. It is if someone cuts you off in traffic, or if there's a traffic jam 25 miles long. See the perfection in your children, partner, or housemate at the end of the day. Bathe in the deep knowingness that all is divine. Spend all your time exploring the feelings in your body, mind, and heart, that everything is perfect, exactly as it should be. Notice how different you feel after spending the day acknowledging the perfection in everything. You will see that this habit creates a new perspective on this life. It does something very magical to your entire being. It allows the mind-body to let go and come to a deeper sense of peace and trust. Isn't that what we seek? When we trust this universe, our ability to manifest our desires dramatically increases. We start naturally sending out a higher vibration of energy that attracts to us what we desire. Let go of the mind and start enjoying the perfection that is around you, from the smallest flower to the tallest skyscraper. You see how you start to feel it, you start to comprehend it, you start feeling it in the heart when you go in the heart. You begin to comprehend it. It's the puzzle pieces start to fall into place. You start getting it. Something bad, right? Something bad in our eyes is happening in our lives. Distasteful, something that's not something we would like to, entertain. And it goes on, right? So we look at it. We don't ignore it. We look at it. We say, what's the positive in this happening or this experience? Let's flip the switch to the positive and not the negative. Because remember, in every single thing, everything, where there's bad, there's good. Where there's good, there's bad. Everything. There's no exception to that rule. Most of us choose, because we're so habitualized, we choose to go, it's easier to focus on the negative than it is the positive. Isn't that interesting? It's easier to focus on the negative than it is the positive. It's like you're experiencing something. You're frustrated. You're miffed, whatever, right? Someone says to you, and you're just blabbering on about it through the mind. And someone says to you, have you ever thought about switching gears and concentrating on what is positive in this whole thing? Why would I want to do that? Look what's going on here. You see, this is what we do. It isn't a bad thing. We do it out of habit. We don't realize it, for the most part. We really don't. We focus on situations that come in, right? And then we're absorbed mostly on what is negative about it. And then we focus on the negative. And then we lower our vibrational frequency. And then it continues to lower and we receive more of the same. See, and when we incorporate fearlessness, where, like we talked about in the last meditation, we go into fearlessness, We look at the worst case scenario, and then it fades. Since most of us don't know yet that we, each of us, are one, the gods that we are, but we also are so omnipotently powerful that everything is due to what we focus our energies on. Now, most of us grew up, had parents, were born in these bodies. And then the parents began to influence immediately. Now, interesting fact, that quite a while ago, the Russians performed an experiment, and they called it the Winter Children. And so the children were sequestered. Okay, they weren't abused or anything. We're not nowhere near that. They were sequestered, so they did not have interaction with their parents at all, or any adults at all. And through that, all of them began to develop super powers. Think about that now. See what happens when we're in these baby bodies and the baby body begins to grow. What happens? Okay. We begin to get filled. We're an empty vessel. Empty vessel. We have no stigmatism in the life. We have really no fear. We are joy-filled. We're happy. We're adventurous. And there is no limits to our imaginations. Okay? Now, understanding that all of us are gods within the body, and we're omnipotently powerful. Now, on this planet, there's been a transition going on in many different avenues. It's not like you can see them all. But see, the civilization is moving forward. And many ways. And is beginning to discover the God force. Who and what they are in that body. They're beginning to comprehend. They say that I'm a God in this body. I am supreme, powerful, unlimited. No limits in direction, imagination, or anything. So therefore, I can direct my power in any direction I choose to manifest anything I choose. This is happening, right? Along with emotionality, right? Ego mind not wanting to let go, tug of war. Many are having that with themselves. But this is what's transpiring. It's not a movie from that perspective. Humanity is beginning to discover its power, the God force. That's what it's starting. People are starting to discover that. And not ego mind, heart mind. In reality, we are all supreme reality, right? All of us begin to transform and to discover superpowers. Now, you might say, well, how come it's taken so long, so many generations? The influence of adults over the children has stymied that progression. You can't do that. That's silly. Don't think about that. Stop talking about that. That's not possible. You can't do this. You can't do that. You see? Repetitiveness through the years stymied the civilization. So therefore, the civilization stays in bicameralism, schizophrenic mode, sets limitations for itself, and doesn't have the understanding that it is limitless. Can you see the transition? Some of you have seen pictures, little videos, little short shots from, someone on the internet recorded something, and you looked at it and you went, how can that be? It's probably CGI. Not all of it is CGI. That's the secret. Some of it mixed in with the CGI is real. So you might see something strange. You might see someone with glowing hands, right? Super hyper speed, caught on camera. You might see somebody fly, thinking it's a joke, that they staged it, right? It's happening. But see, those who experience it and embrace it, they hide. You know why they hide? I think we all know why they hide. Because the civilization wouldn't understand it. See? Wouldn't understand it. Heart, mind, no limitations, journey within, this all begins to show itself. Ego mind, worry, stress, fear, forget about it. You're not going to experience it. It's all connected to going within. It's all connected to discovering that all the gods and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, are super powerful, omnipotently so, limitless. This has always been the fear of pure evil, that would come, that awakening would begin. And the interesting thing about it is, it can't be stopped. Literally, it can't be reversed, because, see, the awakening is shifted into high gear. It's not something that can be undone. Some things we've experienced, it can be undone, reversed, right? Not this. You can ask your heart mind to know that it is true. Did we honestly believe for hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years, that we were supposed to stay like this? We probably did. The majority has for a very long time. That this life, the next life, this frequency, the next frequency, so on and so forth, that all we were going to do is, with total amnesia, continually reincarnation forever, with no memory of the previous, or the previous, or the previous, previous, or the next, the next, the next, the next, forever. Little teeny steps of progression, little miniature forward movement, but nothing substantial. Nothing significant. So you see the pattern has majorly, massively shifted how you view things like you used to. You won't view them the same way. And we're not talking about judging, because remember, we're the heart mind. So things will shift in a different direction. More and more of us will begin to go within by choice, not by fear, not by anybody pressuring or working or whatever, no gurus, influence or anything. You'll by choice. And as each of us go within, we begin to start discovering a plethora of things that we were constantly, lifetime after lifetime, searching for outside of ourselves. This has been the great distraction, right? The material physical world. And pretty much, we've all fallen for it numerous times. And what's interesting is that everything comes to you. Now, I don't mean that, a silver platter is laid on your lap and everything that you desire is there. In a way, it could be viewed that way. But it means that through opportunities that the universe sends you, situations that come to you, for you to act upon, right? But in true reality, and we are all supreme reality, everything comes to us. You want to know why? Because we're everything. So people ask all the time, well, then why isn't my life the way I want it to be? Because you don't have the deep trust, faith in yourself and the universe. And you don't know who and what you are. Now, picture yourself as this super powerful ball, right? Shimmering, glittering, golden, multicolored ball. It is beyond description on its power of magnetism, right? So imagine you're rolling along, right? And everything is sticking to you. Now you're not directing this energy. It's just all over the place. And the good, the bad, and the ugly is sticking to you all the time, right? Now, you go within and you discover that this is how omnipotently powerful you are, and that you know that when you lower your vibrational frequency, hatred, greed, anger, fear, stress, anxiety, worry, that flow, that attraction changes. Whatever you're concentrating on is coming to you. That's it, period. So see, in a way, you are directing. You are directing, in a way. But you're not consciously aware of just exactly what you're directing to you. This is why we talked in the guided part of this meditation today about beginning to understand that without being overwhelmed. So it seems simple, doesn't it? Doesn't it seem simple? In one way it is, but another way maybe not. So you say, okay, so I'm the universe is me. So I focus on the positive things when I am presented with negative things. And then when I am presented with positive things, of course, I accentuate the positive in the positive. Why focus on the negative of the positive? Now, all of us have learned negative, positive, right? It's not like we're babes in the woods about that. We've learned it through many lifetimes. We know what's negative to us, and we know what's positive. But it is up to us. We've been given everything. All of us have. None of us are lacking anything. We have all the powers that we'll ever need. It doesn't mean we've engaged them, because it depends on where we're at with ourselves. And remember, it's not a race. If you're stuck in the muck, it's not negative. You're stuck in the muck. And we all know that there are a lot of us that are stuck in the muck. So in the quiet time, when we move into the quiet time of this meditation, the focus within is that literally, see, this is where the ego mind has a hard time comprehending. That you're everything. Everything is you. We're not talking about the illusion of separation with the body, right? We're talking about you, the God that you are in that body. So someone might say, so does that mean we are all one? Yes. No matter what name, right, of the physical form, what body, what's its configurations. Or maybe not humanoid, maybe something else. Now, you look at your closet, for instance, right? You don't just have one suit, do you? No. You got a lot of different clothes. Do you wear one set of clothes every day? No, you don't. Mostly not. Right? Now, it's no different. We change lives just like we change clothes. Now, there is an understanding is that, well, the life doesn't go that fast. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? I mean, I can change my clothes in a matter of minutes. My life lasts years. Have you always ask yourself how time seems to be, what? Hours seem to be set minutes, right? Everything is accelerated. When you get to a certain level in each life, you start to comprehend that things are accelerated. When you're in the baby body and you're totally newborn, right? You're not filled with all kinds of influences from external authorities. How do you look at things? Only when you start getting filled with information from the external authorities as that body grows and you experience, do you become hurried? Do you become impatient? Do you become fearful? So, and this has been stated thousands and thousands of times. If it is to be, it is up to me. It isn't up to anyone else. It's up to you. It isn't a pressure thing. It isn't. It's an acknowledgement and understanding. It's a choice. Every single moment in this very now, someone on this planet has decided to go with him. And see, you get to the point where you've designed things, okay? You've designed things in your life. And you're at peace. and you're not in a hurry. And of course, you view happenings, right? All the propaganda that's kicking up like crazy. And see, when you're in your heart mind, you know immediately it's just propaganda. It's made up out of thin air. And it is. I'm focusing my energy on peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. We're always witnessing reflections of ourselves, the gods that we are. Not necessarily did the majority of us identify that yet. We're all of us gods are bathing this planet in pure, deep, eternal love. All of us are. Hundreds of millions of us. You really want to stretch it? Billions, trillions, centillions, quadrillions, gigaplexes. Because why? Because we've decided to eliminate pure evil. Pure evil is a very, very deep, dense, low frequency. That's all. That's what it is. And as we experience things, this is what's interesting. Because of how we understand things is what attracts that pure evil. So, whether we're invaded silently by other off-worlders, whether our civilization is manipulated, infiltrated, who is attracting that? Who is attracting that? When we focus, when we look at just a short stint of the history that we can view, right, and then understand how the history was prefabricated. But when we look at certain things and we say, war and conflict and hatred and anger and people out in a battlefield killing each other, not knowing why. Truly, seriously, not knowing why. But doing it because external authority has told them to do it. That kind of conflict and hatred, unbridled, is what creates pure evil and is what attracts it. Shooting somebody, right? Beating someone up, mugging somebody, raping somebody, or just killing to kill. Are the gods doing that in the body? No. The body's doing it. Ego mind. And then you might say, well, then why are some people so evil, vile, destructive, hateful? Because they have no clue, zero clue, that they're a god in that body. They have no clue at all. They believe they're the body. That's it. Ego mind is the root of the creation of evil. It's interesting because When we all enter these bodies, the gods that we are, what do we inherit? Ego mind. What is ego mind? Illusion. So it's been put there for what? For us to discover who and what we are. That's why it's been installed as an illusion for us to master. Now, some of us would say, well, it's pretty simple, right? I'll intend and focus on the positive. I will attract positive things. Right? So say you do that and you attract just boatloads of wealth, of money. There's so much of it that it's just beyond your comprehension. Now, not really understanding what the flip side of that is, right? What am I going to do with it? Who am I going to trust to manage it? How am I going to stay out of harm's way? Right? These are things that never crossed your mind. Could be anything, not just money. Could be anything that comes in that we manifest. I'm just using it as an example. But when you become visible and highly wealthy, everyone wants what you have. Everyone wants what you have. And this is what we don't think about in a lot of things. Say, that's the flip side. Do most of us, no, we don't. It comes, right? You experience it. You stay in a positive mode, and you stay out of the ego mind. Now you know there's responsibility. And you say to yourself, that'll be taken care of. It will. The universe will provide. And it does, as long as you stay out of its way. Can all of this happening right in this now moment be accelerated? Not really. It's about as fast as it's going to get. See, when you go within, you're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, which means you have left the ego mind and subconscious mind alone. Gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. That's all within. We focus on our breath. Easy and slowly in through the nose, easy and slowly out through the mouth. We move into the now because this is what we want to do. Now, when we're in the now, we're in the heart mind. You're not in the ego mind. You're in the heart mind. When you're in the now, you'll know it. In the heart, you drop from the head to the heart. And we like staying there. After a while, we really find it very enlightening to stay there. It is difficult. It's practice. It's just habit. Developing the habit. Look at all the habits we develop throughout lifetimes, right? We should absolutely be masterful at creating habits, creating habits of being in the now, creating habit of breath focus, creating the habit of, which is basically just keep practicing until it becomes automatic. And so, see, what happens is that negatives, right? They're always there. They're there. So they come in, and you immediately say to yourself, okay, so here's the positive of this. I'm going to flip to the positive, and I'm going to see what's positive about this, what I'm learning about it, what I'm learning about, with it, what it's teaching me, and what are the good points. And then you say, okay, so then we know what the negatives are, right? We focus on the positive. It's like when someone rubs you the wrong way or someone you just can't stand, right? Someone you just say, I just can't stand that person. I don't really know them, but man, when I get around them, it's like, whew, I got to get out of here. So you ask yourself, you flip the switch and you say, why is it that that person does that to me? What is it about them that maybe the reason I get so bothered about is something that I don't visit with me? When they've all done this, when you meet someone and you have a lot of things in common, right? And you have so many things in common that you just don't learn from each other because you do the same things, the foods and the habits and everything. And you like that, I like that too. And after a while, do you grow? No. Now, you get with someone that is not like you, right? And doesn't eat the same things you do, has different beliefs than you do, and does things differently. Chances are what? What? Are you going to couple with that person? Probably not. Probably not. You'd be more likely to be attracted to someone who's like you, right? Which one will you learn the most from? Is the question you ask yourself. Which one would I learn the most from? So we have encased this planet, the gods that we are. And this is, in this quiet time, this meditation, it is a golden white pink atmosphere. The sky, everything. And we, the gods, have created this atmosphere, which is pure, deep, eternal love. And we've done that so that we can increase the vibrational frequency of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Consciously. And we've been doing that for over 4.5 years. Every day, 7 days a week. This is absolutely mind-bending, right? Hundreds of millions of us on and off world, consciously aware that we are of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, purest of the purest, eternal love. Meditating. Focusing on the now. Creating higher and higher vibrational frequencies by discovering more and more about who and what we are in these bodies. Understanding that there is no separation, that's the illusion. There's no way, period, for pure evil to exist on this planet any longer. There's no way. It is being embraced and absorbed into pure, deep, eternal love. Feel and experience all of this in the heart mind through your breath in this quiet time. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy, slow breath within and an easy, slow breath out of the mouth. In the nose, out the mouth. Something that, for contemplations by Alan Watts, that I thought that would be appropriate. What sort of game in life do we want anyway? We will find out, we will see that all good games, games worth playing, that arouse our interest, are constructed like this. If you have the good and the evil equally balanced, the game is boring. Nothing happens. It is a stalemate. The irresistible force meets the immovable object. On the other hand, if it is all good and it is hardly any evil, maybe just a weeny little bit of a fly in the ointment, it also gets boring. Just in the same way, for example, suppose you knew the future and could control it perfectly. What would you do? You would say, let's shuffle the deck and have another deal. Because when great chess players sit down to a match, and it suddenly becomes apparent to both of them that white is going to mate in 16 moves and nothing can be done about it, they abandon the game and begin another. They do not want to know. There would not be any hide in the game, any element of surprise, if they did know the outcome. Again, with good and evil equally balanced is not a good game. A game with positive or good forces clearly triumphant is not an interesting game. What we want is a game where it always seems that the good side is about to lose and really serious danger of losing, but manages always to sneak out. So what is necessary is a system in which the good side is always winning, but never is the winner, where the evil side is always losing, but never is the loser. That is a very practical arrangement for a successful ongoing game that will keep everybody interested. And you must watch this in practical politics. Every in-group or group of nice people needs an out-group of nasty people, otherwise they wouldn't know who they were. And you must recognize that the out-group is your necessary enemy whom you need. He keeps you on your toes, but you mustn't obliterate him. If you do, you are in a very dangerous state of affairs. So you have to love your enemies in this sense, regard them as highly necessary, and to be respected chivalrously. Now you would say, perhaps, you want to be involved, give your whole self to this. Make an active commitment. You know, once to every man and nation comes the moment to decide, and the strife twixt truth and falsehood for the good or evil side. Then it is the brave man chooses while the coward stands aside. That sounds great, doesn't it? Commitment. Stand up. Be counted. This is a virtue. But on the other hand, you see another virtue, what we call being a good sport. If your enemy in battle of life is to be regarded as an absolute enemy, who is pure evil, black as black can be, you cannot be a good sport, and you can accord him to chivalry no honors of battle. You have got to annihilate him by any means possible, fair or foul. That leads to some pretty sticky situations, especially when he has the same means of annihilating you in just the same way. Alan Watts. Take this with you for the rest of the day and the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here 9 p.m. tonight, Friday, August 5th, to continue our reverse aging health call, and we will return here Saturday, August 6th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.